everybody. Welcome back to the Soulful Eclectic. I am none other than your host, Dr. Diana Collins, where we're having real conversations about life, health, wellness, and, just our soul journey. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to be here with us, to have the conversation. If this is the first time that you're joining us, well, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be here. I so appreciate you and your time. If you have not taken the liberty to listen to our past episodes, please do so. Oh my God, we're on season 9, people. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Yeah, I forgot to share that part. We are on season 9. I know, I'm so excited. So thank you guys for everyone who rocked with me and who's new, and you my new rockers, my new tribe members. Thank you for joining us and being a part of the conversation. As I was saying, we're on every podcast streaming platform that I could possibly think of getting on. So we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Play, we're found on Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it. And probably some that I probably didn't realize that I was on. I'm there, the Soulful Eclectic, we're on the podcast. And for those who are new again and you don't know, we have joined teams with WUBI, Ubiquity Radio and TV, which is an up-and-coming new radio station and TV station. Right now, we are located on Roku, so you can definitely download the app for Roku, and also you can download the app for Apple or Google Play for the WUBI Ubiquity Radio radio. I guess that's what it is, right? Radio. So you got TV and radio. TV right now is only found on Roku, so if you have a Roku TV, then you can find the app for WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. Other than that, that's what we have going on. Oh, in sharing with that information as well, I know that if there are any DJs that are out there who are wanting to get their music out and spin on different platforms, we're there. Just reach out. We have a lot of filmmakers that put their short films and feature films on the TV station as well. Please feel free to reach out and we can definitely have that conversation. So yeah, I wanted to share that for all my new and old members. And if you are one of my old tribe members, well, thank you for coming back. Thank you for rocking with me. I know it's kind of sporadic and crazy, but you guys know how life is. Life be lifing, and I am not short of being affected by it as well. So I'm just doing the best I can and living this crazy life that we have and navigating it and staying afloat and keeping, tabs on me, my husband, my children, and staying safe and healthy, which is all we can do at this time. I'm one of those people that say I can only control what I have control over. And if I can control it and make changes, then I'll do so. But if I can't and it's out of my control, then I'm not going to sit here and worry my brain about it. So there you are. But so for my old tribe members, welcome back. Thank you so much for rocking with me. I appreciate you. And for all of my past guests, if you want to come back, just reach out to me, send me a message. Y'all know how to find me. We can hook up and we can get something rocking. Not a problem. If you are new and you want to sit and vibe with us on the Soulful Eclectic, please just reach out. And that is very doable. I don't charge you to come on my platform. I just love meeting new people and having conversations. And, I'm one of those people that's on the barter system. One hand washes the other, and, we just help each other grow. And like I've said before, and I'll say it again, this is not one of these things where I'm crossing lanes, trying to be in your lane and you be in this, and there's enough lanes. Think of it as the Autobahn. We got enough lanes, okay? And sometimes I may dip into your lane, and sometimes you may dip into mine, but believe me, I ain't staying. I'm gonna come back to my lane because I like my lane. All right, so there's enough for everybody. I just wanted to say that, and I there's no jealousy, animosity, competition, none of that. I am my own competitor. I compete against nobody else but me. M-E, me. That's all I compete against. So I just want to put that out there. So if you want to come on my platform, have a conversation, share something new and innovative that you're doing, please feel free, reach out, and we can definitely schedule something and, see what we can do. So yeah, so got that piece of business out of the way. What else I want to talk about? As you can see, I'm in a new space, and I'm very happy to be in this new space. I start my morning, every day, morning, noon, night, whatever. I always stop and show my gratitude and for what I have and what I'm getting and all these things, and all the things on my vision board are in one way or the other are coming into fruition. So I am so grateful and appreciative of those things. So definitely sharing that piece and wanted to be a part of that piece as well. So thank you guys, and always show gratitude for what it is that you have, the big or small blessings, big or small. I'm always so grateful. So thank you. I went off on a tangent, and as I normally do. So you guys who follow me know that my conversations go like this, and it's okay. It's okay. So there's that. The other thing, I want to thank my sponsors who work with me and who are so gracious to, again, I work on a barter system, so who graciously share and alter, exchange talent and things for services. So I thank you guys also. So one of the main ones is Divine Nubian Essentials. I know you guys heard me talk about Divine Nubian Essentials, and if you are ever so curious on how my skin and my hair just maintains the look that it does, it's because it's nothing but divine. To be honest, I use nothing but Divine Nubian Essentials in my hair. I use nothing but Divine Nubian Essentials on my skin. Aside for the days where I have to wear makeup for filming and things like that, it's nothing but divine. And no, Divine Nubian Essentials does not make makeup at all, and I don't think that's their plan. Who knows? We're still playing with things, so who knows what could happen in the future, but I seriously doubt it. And also thank you to Collins Education Resource Management, where education is completely their passion. They're working on some workshops for nursing students and healthcare students who are going into healthcare, whether it's going into being a CNA, home health aide, nursing, companion, medical school, nurse practitioner school, you name it. They have the ability to help you navigate all those windows. So definitely feel free to reach out to collinserm.com. And also my dear friend Reggie Dupree, she's been writing, and she's got some new stuff coming out, and I can't wait to get her back on the show so we could talk about that. So if you're looking for some new reads and you're into mystical life, metaphysical and fantasy and those kind of things, check out Reggie Dupree and Mystical Midlife Mates and Hoodoo and Return to Hoodoo Heaven. And I know I said those books out of order. When you watch the commercial, you'll see them actually in order. There's a 3-book series, and it's absolutely amazing. I read all 3, and no, we did not know each other when she wrote this book. I only met her after I read the book, and so it's purely coincidental that the main character in her book is a middle-aged Black woman with locks and tattoos. Believe me, it is not me. Okay, and when it is going to be a film, I'm putting it out there, and I've told her this as well. When she decides to make it a film, I probably won't be playing her anyway. It's okay. I'm all right with that. But it still look good. It still look good. Anyways, I'm sorry. I went on a tangent again. Anyways, I only give myself 1 cup of coffee and I savor it. Okay, so don't mind me. It is midday, so good day. Okay. So yeah, so that's where we are with that. So thank you to all of you who are rocking with us, and the new people who are coming to rock with us and joining in. If you have not, again, catch up. A lot of the things that we talk about is just maintaining your health and wealth and your knowledge and spiritual guidance. And I find people who talk about these things. So I thank all my guests who come on and have these conversations with me. I completely appreciate you, and I value your input and what it is that you're sharing and what you're talking about, and so forth and so on. So thank you, because you guys are amazing. As you can see, I'm trying a new way to tape my shows. If you don't know, I will remind you, I am an army of uno, one. So I do my filming, my editing, audio, cutting, pasting, you name it. I do it all myself. So I'm trying a new way. Again, I've been taking some time learning new things, technology, talking to other podcasters and, you know, those kinds of things. So I'm learning a new way and trying a new way of taping my episodes. So let's see how this works. You know, because I use StreamYard, and I don't get money for advertising for StreamYard at all. So this not by any means is a commercial for StreamYard, but it is a platform that I utilize, and it takes a lot of bandwidth. And so my video comes out really sketchy, as you guys have seen in the past episodes with that. So I'm trying new things. I have an extender and all that good jazz too. So we'll see what happens. But right now, this is a new way, and I'm going to see how it works with that. But today's episode is all about being fearless. And I wore my fearless shirt today. It says fearless down the middle. And yes, I got my arms out today because I feel like strong and powerful. And I worked out today. I'm back on my workout regimen. So if anybody's out there and you want to join me on my workouts and walks and things like that, feel free. Just share on share with us at dc@thesoulfuleclectic.com. Shoot me an email, share with me whatever video you want to share with your workout, whatever you want to do. Shout us out. It's all in fun and keeping our mental and physical health up. That's what it's for. I'm not trying to fit into a size 6. I'm trying to keep myself healthy because I got a new grandbaby, and I want to be able to help with him and run with him and do all those things, because, you know, he's a busy boy. And even at this ripe young age of less than a year, he's flipping and doing all these things, and by the time I'm done, I'm so tired from watching him. But it's just a joy. It's a love, and I so appreciate my daughter and my future son-in-law for allowing me the opportunity to spend the time that I have been spending with him, and my husband included, you know, because he just loves his little king baby. That's what we call him, king baby, because he is our world. He is our world. But today we're going to talk about being fearless and what it means to be fearless. And I thought about this today, not only, well, first and foremost, yes, it was driven by my shirt, because I went on my walk, and I felt like fearless was something that came to mind, because we use fear to stop us from doing a lot of things. And for some of us, I'm not going to say for everybody, for some of us use fear to fuel our life, and, you know, to fuel the things that we want to get accomplished. But there's some that still allow fear to navigate how and what it is that they do. But we're going to dive into what it really means to be fearless, if that's okay. So when we think about fearless and being fearless in the world that we live in today, or fearless doesn't mean that you're reckless. Fearless doesn't mean that you're living without fear, not by any means. It means that you are showing up in spite of your fear, right? You're being present in spite of your fear. So let's talk about what that looks like when it comes to your mind, body, and your spirit. Because all of those things, it plays a part in all those things. So the first part of our conversation, what does it mean to be fearless? Okay, fearless is not, can be equal to or not equal to the absence of fear. So fear, like I said in the beginning, fearless is not having fear, but is not allowing the fear to govern you. So it's acknowledging the fear and still moving forward, right? So you know the fear is there, but like I said, some of us allow the fear to stop us, and then there's those of us who allow the fear to fuel us. So being fearless, you're allowing that fear to fuel what it is that you're doing. And why did I think about being fearless today? Being fearless today, it came to my mind because I was doing a reflective walk this morning. And during that reflective walk, I thought about my life and where I was and where I have been and where I'm going. And it came to me that a lot of the things that I didn't do in the past, I stopped myself from doing it because of fear. And it wasn't until I started growing in myself and learning myself that I started to do things in spite of my fear. So I would just, okay, I'm going to use, all this is about me, right? So the first thing, becoming a nurse. I allowed fear for a very long time to stop me from being a nurse. Fear and insecurities. Both those things was what stopped me from, I didn't want to say stop because I am a nurse. What slowed me down or delayed my progression to become a nurse. That might be better. Here's what I mean. So growing up, right, we have these adversities that we live with that are the root of who we are, right? So think of yourself as a tree and you got your roots, and in that root you have your insecurities, your fears, your you're thinking you're not enough, then you're not feeling loved, and all these things are at the root of this tree of you, right? So now you're growing up and here is this body of you, and you still have those roots that are feeding some of that insecurity still in you and through you, right? So those things are what really kept me from becoming a nurse earlier on, because I felt like I couldn't do it. I wasn't smart enough. I had kids and, I didn't have a lot of support. So it's like, okay, I can't do it because I have to do this. I have to do this. And, all these things. So fear stopped me dead in my tracks from being a nurse early on. And then what made me continue on in spite of my fears, one was definitely looking at my children, knowing that I wanted better for them. That was definitely number one. Number two was not allowing other people's perception of me build who I am. So therefore, I'm going to go out and challenge you, because I know I'm better than what you think I am. So there's that. And then there's the other part where there's people who float in and out of your life who feed into you, right? They are watering the roots and providing you with different food that you were than what you were provided for initially when we started that plant, this tree, right? Which is you, me. So now, instead of being fed those insecurities, you have someone who's feeding and watering you with damn, you did that really well. You should be a nurse. Dang, you did this really well. You know, you're really smart. How'd you know that? So you have those people who are now feeding you with this information, with this bit of you can and you are and you will and you know, those kinds of things. So then you have that to help navigate those fearless moments, right? So it doesn't mean that the fear is not there, because believe me, oh my gosh, with every step that I did, I was scared as hell, but I didn't let it stop me. I let it fuel me. I'm like, you know, it's scary, yes, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Failure is scary, yes, but so is success. It's all scary. So you just keep going. You just navigate through it, right? So that's being fearless in my book. You're showing up in spite of the fear. You're showing up in spite of the adversity. You're showing up in spite of the insecurities. You're showing up, and you're being present. Okay, that's what that means. And we all have some level of fear. You may hear some people say, oh, I don't have any fear. Nothing scares me. Bullshit. Okay, there's something or someone that scares everyone. And many people will not admit it. And you know what? That's okay. That's for them. But we all have some level of something that brings fear to our hearts and our souls, right? So being fearless today, what does that look like? Speaking your truth. And I know I hear people say, this is my truth. And sometimes that gets a chuckle out of me, because I'm a movie buff, guys, and you know, I'm an actress, so I have a lot of movie references. So when someone says, I'm speaking my truth, I automatically chuckle because of the movie Couples Retreat, when the shark nicked him or scratched him, and you know, it was a whole thing. He's like, this is my truth. So please forgive me if anyone ever says this is my truth and a little chuckle comes out. It's not about you and speaking what you're talking about. It's about the movie, because it was hella funny. I love Vince Vaughn. I know people have the you know, go either way, but when he's funny when he's in his element. So there's that. So speaking your truth. Speaking your truth is very challenging. Okay. I know on many days I have spoken my truth, and some days it comes out very strong, right? And there are days where it can be very challenging for some, where speaking your truth, you may feel like your voice is shaky, you got all the nerves. Speaking your truth, some people break down and it starts crying, and it makes them look like they are weak, but it is not a weakness. It's a very emotional conversation, a very emotional piece of them that they are releasing. So all of those emotions come out. So speaking their truth, it may show a little bit of vulnerability there, and their voice may start shaking, but listen to the words that they're saying. They are speaking from the heart, right? Prioritizing self-care is another one. Oh my goodness. This day and age, right, where we're looking for work-life balance, prioritizing self-care today in this world is being fearless, is showing fearlessness, because it takes a level of courage and guts to prioritize yourself. And especially in today's world where it's glorified burnout, right? Being burnt out is like, yes. And it's like, no. Prioritizing self-care. And you know, just to give you an example, and I'm going to share this because I was very much one of those people who was burned out during life and things, and you know, we just navigating different things and working so hard, especially in healthcare. In healthcare, we get burned out so easily, so fast, and it's just in a blink of an eye, we're done. Teaching, I got so burned out that I did not want to go back in the classroom. I tried on several occasions to go back full time into the classroom, and I just it gives me a level of anxiety and stress that I just don't want to deal with. Okay, so burnout is a real thing, and being burned out in this world, and it seems to be something that's glorified. So now we're trying to change that narrative where we're prioritizing self-care, and what it looks like for each individual is very different. I know for me, it's a work-life balance, and I'm so very grateful for this current employer that I have that believes in work-life balance and actually embodies that work-life balance and expects the staff to participate in that work-life balance. And my current employer, my boss, doesn't want to see you in there every day tired and looking like you looking disheveled and yelling at none of that. No. Go home. Separate yourself. So I appreciate that, and I love that for us as staff members in this work-life balance. So it's amazing. It's beautiful. I appreciate it. And prioritizing self-care in the world today that wants to glorify burnout, it's very hard. It's a challenge to speak up for yourself and to prioritize you, because it's always looked like you're being selfish, and self-care is never selfish, right? So you have to be able to do that, and it's hard. And as an example, as I was saying, as an example for me, I was able to do that. And it was very hard for me because I'm a person that goes all in when it comes to my jobs. I'm especially because I'm so passionate about healthcare. I'm so passionate about education, especially educating nurses. So when I'm there, I'm like in there 100%. And I know me. So when I had the interview, I said, yes, I said, I just want to work per diem. I want to come in, work, teach a few lectures, teach a couple of labs, teach a couple of clinicals here or there. I'm not ready to put in there that full time yet because I still have that work-life balance that I want to maintain. I have a new grandson that I want to spend time with, so that requires me to travel. I have acting gigs that I do, and I have to be on set, so that requires me to travel. And I want to spend time with my husband and travel with him, So I don't work full-time. And so with that employer found value in me and still hired me, and I work there to this day, and I'm so grateful for it. And we have a great time. We have a great team of educators, and we come in and we do our stuff. So it is possible to prioritize yourself and self-care in this world. And so it just takes you speaking your truth, knowing your truth, and then being able to speak your truth and advocate for yourself to prioritize you where they want to quickly burn you out and replace you when you're done. Because in today's corporate world, everyone is replaceable and everyone's a number. So there's big kudos to anyone who is able to prioritize themselves and who is able to speak their truth, even though it can be scary sometimes and it can be seen as being selfish with that. And your truth is your truth. And hey, it's all about you and your perception and what you see for you. So there's that. So yeah, saying no is the other one. It needs nothing else to follow it. And I am guilty of saying no because no, I have this. It's always no with the explanation. No is a sentence by itself. Am I available to do X, Y, and Z? No, I am not. Here are my days for availability. There is that. There is no explanation, and I have to stop doing that. And I am continuing to work on that because it is a struggle. Because as the person that I am, I'm a people pleaser. So the thing I want to do is, like, if I say no, I want to tell you why I'm saying no. It's not no because this is just no. So I just have to learn, and I am still learning to just say no, but here's what I can do. So even though I'm saying no, I'm not giving an explanation of why the no is, but I'm telling you what I have available if I have anything available. Because sometimes it's just no, especially if it's something I don't want to do. I'm just going to say, no, I can't, thank you. And that's it. Or no, I don't have the time. Whatever. But your no is your no, and you keep it, okay? Saying no when you need to protect your energy is okay. And it doesn't matter if it's family, work, friends, it doesn't matter. Your no is your no, and it should be respected as so. And that's that. And I had to learn that, and I'm still learning that. Even my husband tells me no, okay? And even though I sometimes will walk away and probably throw a tantrum, I respect that no, because he too has energy that he needs to protect and wants to protect. So if he says no, then it's no. And there's that. One more thing before we go to break is asking for help without being shameful about it. That definitely is a hard one for me. I don't know how to ask for help. I feel growing up the way I've seen things being done, if you didn't do it all yourself, you were seen as being a weakling. So asking for help was always, and still sometimes is, a challenge for me. I have to really figure it out how to ask for help. Even to this day, like, I hired my daughter as my assistant. I don't even know how to ask her to do things for me. I don't even know what to tell her to do for me, but she's my assistant, which requires me to ask her to help me do things, but I don't know what I can ask her to do. So there's that heart. There's that challenge piece there for me. If you guys have any thoughts on any of that, on how to ask people for help without feeling shame, please feel free to share that with me, because to me, I am still working on that one. It is still a challenge. People will say, can I help you with them? I'm like, no, I got it. And here I am running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to figure out how to make flyers, how to send this out, how to do this, how to do that, and still feel like I'm losing this race. So yes, asking for help is a challenge, but when you're looking at speaking your truth and prioritizing self-care and saying no, asking for help is also part of that prioritizing self-care. And be mindful that you can ask someone for help and they can say no, and that's okay. But then that leaves me, I'm speaking about me, I don't know about anybody else, but when somebody says I asked for help, that one time I decide to ask for help and someone says no, then that kind of shuts me down, and I don't want to ask anyone else for help. So there's that. And like I said, that's just me. And if anyone else feels that way, please do share, because I know for me, that's how it is. I don't ask for help, because once someone tells me no, I'm like, see, I just should have just did it myself. And then I go do it myself. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean that it makes sense. It doesn't mean that I should stop asking for help. It doesn't mean any of that. That's just me. And I know who I am and how I navigate things. And yes, that person could be protecting their energy. That person could not have the time to help me. That's okay. But I have to respect their self-care prioritization, right? As well as know what my limitations are. I did ask for help. They said no. Okay, so what do? Do I go ask somebody else for help, or do I just go do it myself? There's that. So yeah, so we're going to take a break. And before we take a break, I want to leave you off with an affirmation that I want to share with you. And it's, I can feel fear and still choose courage. My bravery is in showing up as myself. So take that to the break. And if you have questions, feel free to share. Talk to you soon.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? I would like to welcome you to a show that is called Cruise with Rob C, exclusively on WUBI Ubiquity Radio every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. My name is Rob C, and while taking your cruise, you will hear the very best in smooth jazz, smooth R&B, classic soul, as well as other genres that definitely define the very essence of smooth. I personally invite you to come aboard, and while you're here, grab your favorite beverage, turn up the volume, and have a seat as we set sail on this musical journey for your listening pleasure. You can find us at wubi.live, or depending if you have an Apple or Android device, go to your app store and download our free WUBI app. Take care, and as always, enjoy your cruise, y'all.
I am the Disco Bee.
I am the Alpha Male.
I am Benjamin Grimm, and we host,
From a Queen's perspective,
The Seasoned Gentleman.
the host of the Love Jones Cafe.
we are the Love Jones Cafe.
The Love Jones Cafe.
We are the Love Jones Cafe.
Love Jones. Love Jones. Love Jones. Love Jones.
Hey everyone, Dr. Diana Collins here with the Soulful Eclectic, a podcast about being your authentic self and maintaining your health and wellness, brought to you by Divine Nubian Essentials, Love the Skin You're In, and also Collins Education Resource Management, where healthcare education is our passion. If you're looking for a new read, check out our friend Reggie Dupree in Hoodoo Heaven, Return to Hoodoo, and Mystical Midlife Mate, because everything is happening in Hoodoo, brought to you by WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. If you have not downloaded your app on Roku or Apple or Google Play, do so right away. The Soulful Eclectic can be found every Friday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on all your podcast streaming platforms, WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. So, see you soon. Namaste. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you took a nice coffee break, got your refreshments, did a bio break, whatever you needed to do. It's totally up to you. You could have just muted me or whatever. It doesn't matter, but I welcome back. So we're talking a little bit about your fears and having the fear, being fearless. That's it, being fearless, and having prioritizing yourself, speaking your truth, saying no, and also asking for help, right? And we all know those things are very difficult to do. Again, speaking for myself, I find it a challenge very often to prioritize myself. I think I have gotten better over the years. I want to say that I have. Like I will now schedule myself for massages and do spa days for myself, and I also do things with my husband. Like we have spa days that we do together, and you know, I schedule him a massage because for him, prioritizing himself is definitely a challenge. So for me, I make it my business to prioritize him and try to do things to help him realize his worth of self and to prioritize himself. I mean, he knows his worth. I pray he knows his worth because I know his worth. But helping him prioritize himself, because we get into that whole, again, talk about in today's day and age, being burnt out is glorified. And so in some spaces, I know there are some people that will argue that, you know, not every place glorifies being burned out, but that's, you know, we know there are places that will glorify being burned out and replace you in the moment that you start to break down, because especially in corporate America, everyone is replaceable on some level in their eyes. So that's what we were talking about when we left and came back and went to break for a quick second. So when I talk about this second part, right, we talked about having fear, and, you know, being fearless doesn't mean that you don't have fear. It's you working through it in spite of your fear, right? So now having healthy fear, that whole fight or flight, and our nervous system and how that works, because that is just really a natural thing. It's that innate protective mechanism that we have in our body, and fear is natural. It's our body's built-in alarm system. Okay, so fear is natural, people. Being fearless, again, we all have a level of fear, and you'll have people who will say, oh, nothing scares me. And, kudos to those people. Cheers, okay, to the Beastmaster. What can I say? And kudos to anybody who knows that, where that came from. Again, I'm a movie person. I love film, great film, mediocre film, bad film. I will watch it and critique it and probably quote it, okay? So, as I said, cheers to the Beastmaster. Fear is natural, people, okay? Fear is our body's built-in alarm system. It keeps us safe. It stops us from doing stupid, some of us from doing stupid things that can get us killed. When we think about the fight or flight response that the body has, it is our body's decision whether to face a challenge or to run from it. So the fight or flight in our body is the response that our body is trying to make the decision of whether or not we're going to stay and fight, or if we just going to beat the dust and run. Okay, because sometimes everything doesn't deserve a fight. Sometimes to save your life, you do have to run, and that's that innate instinct that is within us. And we see it a lot in childhood growing up, how you ever think back at fights and in engagements, and how some people decide to stay and fight in certain situations, and other people are like, yeah, I'm ghost, somebody here, I'm gone. Those kinds of things. And it's that fight or flight response. And in that fight or flight response, our body has a reaction to it too, right? So either some people will have, their stomachs will not be their friend, and their bowels will evacuate. So there is that. Some people vomit, they get nauseous, they have that vomiting. So what we call the NVDs, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, that tends to happen in a fight or flight state. You get flush, you get adrenaline rush. All these things happen with the body. So when you think about being fearless does not come without having some sort of physical manifestations with it, okay? Because that fear is still there. The body still recognizes it as a fear. Therefore, even though you're going to continue through it, the body is going to show you that, hey, yeah, I know we should be scared right now, and I know you're going to keep going, but I'm going to protect you in some form or fashion. When we look at healthy fear helps us avoid danger. As I said, we have that innate alarm system that helps protect us, right? So, if we're going to, touch a hot stove, our body may say, hey, you want to think about this beforehand, what's going to happen? You may burn yourself, you can cause great harm. That's just a very light one, but something like that, right? So the body will give you some sort of sign that is something dangerous that you're going to embark. You may get a queasiness in your stomach. Intuition, right? Your intuition. That's part of that fight or flight sometimes, because you're in your physical representation is telling you need to pause and think about this for a minute. And I love the pause. I think we talked about the pause in a few episodes back. Pausing is great. Pausing gives you that moment to think. Pausing gives you that moment to reassess. Pausing gives you that moment to assess, not just reassess, but to assess the situation, see if you want to continue. And that pausing is wonderful. Pausing lets you know if you're doing the right thing and gives you that moment of clarity of where you might say, maybe this is not a good thing and maybe I shouldn't be doing it. So pausing in the things that you do is a great thing. It's a great tool. We were talking about pausing just yesterday with a couple of faculty that we were talking with, and we're talking about medication administration with our nursing students, right? And how we try to teach them to pause before they continue on and give a patient a medication. Pause, think about what it is that you're doing. Think about if you hit all the steps. Think about if you got the right drug. Think about if you have the right patient. Think about if you have measured the right tools. If you have the right tools for measurement, like if you give an IV medication, do you have the right, do you have the right setup for it? All those things. So the pausing is great. Pausing is great in education. Pausing is great in life. Pausing is great in work. Pausing saves you a lot of stress and strife in the long run, right? But when we talk about fear, living in the constant state of fear mode, that causes us it leads to stress, anxiety, blood pressure issues, hypertension, and in the end, burnout, which is what happens to a lot of us, especially in healthcare. Oh my gosh, a lot of us suffer from burnout, and it starts with the fact that we're constantly in that fight or flight mode, right? We're working hard, saving lives, doing all these things, and then we get a level of stress that it builds up because we're constantly working understaffed. We're constantly dealing with patients abusing us. We're constantly dealing with, not having the equipment to do our jobs. There's so many things that stress us out during the day in healthcare, right? Now we have that, and then now we have the anxiety of keeping our jobs, the anxiety of maintaining our license because of the things we're still having to work in environments where we don't have what we need. So you have that level of anxiety. Then, with all those, that stress and anxiety, you have the physical ramifications that happen to the body. Now the body's going to respond to that. You're going to have hypertension. You're going to have, and if you don't know what hypertension is, it's high blood pressure, right? And if you have high blood pressure, high blood pressure that goes untreated for long periods of time, it can lead to bigger cardiac events. It can lead to kidney events. It can lead to so many other things, right? And in the end of it, what happens is you burn out. Your candle is blown. You're gone. That is what happens. So yes, there is a certain level of healthy fear, but living in that state for long periods of time can have a negative impact on your mental health and your physical health. So please be mindful of that. So living in that constant state of fear is not good for our health because it leads to stress, anxiety, hypertension, and ultimately burnout. Appearing fearless, right, does not mean you're ignoring the fear. It just means that you're regulating it. You're not letting it control you. That's what that means. So appearing like you're fearless, and we can all be there faking the funk. I know I've done it. I've been scared out of my wits, have anxiety, sweating like nobody's business. That stress sweat. You're like, okay, I'm scared as shit. Your gut is doing somersaults. You probably evacuated your bowels a couple of times. But yet you come out and you're standing strong and you deliver that message fearlessly. It doesn't mean that I'm ignoring the fear. It just means that, okay, I don't have time to be scared right now. I need to do what I need to do. So it means that you're regulating it. Okay, yes, I recognize that I'm scared. I'm going to go evacuate my bowels. I'm going to dry my pits. I'm going to breathe and do my four-corner breathing, and I'm going to work through it. I'm going to regulate, and I'm going to continue on with what I need to do, right? So how is this? Think about public speaking, right? The fear is real, and I feel it quite often. Not so much now. Not saying that it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen as often. And I can regulate it better than I have in the past. But in the past, when you think about public speaking, and when I think about public speaking, the fear was real, okay? My heart would start racing. Like I said, my palms were sweating. I was sweating profusely, my armpits. I used to have to choose my wardrobe carefully because you get those sweat pits under your arms and things. But what if you try to reframe it? Instead of fighting it, you just reframe it as energy, right? And that's what I started doing. I started reframing this fear as energy, right? That adrenaline rush that you get in your body when you're preparing when you're preparing to rise to the occasion, right? That fear transforms into fuel. And that's what I have learned to do. I've learned to transfer that fear into fuel. So now, instead of letting it feel like it's taking over my body and I'm scared and I can't do, I'm like, no, this is the fuel I need. Let's do this. Yes, I'm sweating profusely, but it's okay because I'm ready and raring to go, right? So it's just reframing and retraining your mind to think of your fear as fuel to navigate you going through this new change that you're going through, to have these conversations, to do what it is that you're going to do. So it's a different way to looking at your challenge. So when you think about that, again, thinking about public speaking, the fear is your fuel, and that heart racing and your palm sweating and all those things are gearing you up, and it's like the engine revving up to go. And then instead of fighting it, and you're not like, no, I'm not gonna do it, I'm scared, I can't do it, you reframe it like, this is my energy, this is my go, this is what I'm gonna do, we're gonna do this, we're gonna knock it out, we got this. So that's my challenge to you. Reframe that, fear and that you can't do and that you're scared and thing, and reframe it as, this is my energy, this is my thing. And then you find yourself a song. This is my antidote to this too. Find this song, okay, to add to my antidote. Find you a song that gets you fired up. Yeah. Find a song that gets you fired up, and you just have that in your head, and you're like, yep, I got this. And you sing your song, whatever it may be. Do I have a song that gets me fired up? I do. And it's crazy because it's old, but it changes my mood. It's Love Shack. Yep, by B-52s. Yep. I do that. I sing Love Shack in my head. Yep. And the new one that I love, that I just added to my music repertoire in my head when I have to do speaking engagements, is two of Mary J. Blige's song. Fine, of course. That's my thing. Fine. Woo. Yeah. And Good Morning Gorgeous. That's my other one. Yep, I'm like, good morning, gorgeous. Yes, I'm fine. I can do this. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna say I'm gonna do my speech. I'm gonna have this lecture, whatever it is. Those are my go-to 3 so far. Yep, there's more, I'm sure, but those are the first 3 that hits really quickly, right? So I also have a mantra for you. So for this one, so my mantra is, my fear is information, not my limitation. That's my mantra when I go on stage, okay? My fear is information, not limitation. That's it. And you just keep going, and you just do what you need to do, because at the end of the day, somebody's always gonna have a problem with what it is that you said. Point blank, period. There's always going to be someone that you're not going to make happy, someone that you're going to piss off because of what you said and how you said it, someone who didn't like the way you phrased something, someone who's going to nitpick. Oh my gosh, there's always that one person. And let me say, I have many things to do, and there's different places to place my energy. I don't place my energy in anything like that. I don't, whatever. So here's that. My fear is information, not limitation. There you go. Yeah, so there you are with that. I lost my train of thought. Fearless, excuse me, maintaining your mental health though, and self-care. I know we talking about prioritization and self-care, and maintaining your truth and speaking your truth. Fearless living requires mental fitness. I just want you to know that. Fearless living is not for the weak-minded. It requires a mental fitness. So you're training your brain daily to maintain and navigate fear and fearful situations, and how your body and you respond to them both mentally and physically. Therapy and counseling, believe me guys, is not a weakness. You guys have heard me talk about therapy, counseling. I still see a therapist and a counselor. They're one and the same, probably every 3 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks, depending on what the hell is going on in my life. It's a strength. That is you building your arsenal on your mental health and your self-care. It is by no means a weakness. We have to get out of that stigma, especially in the Black and brown community, that having therapy, going to therapy, talking to somebody about what it is that you're doing or going on and going wrong and going right in your life is a weakness. It is a strength. You need that once a month check-in. Once every month, once every 3 months, whatever your scheduling is, it is very helpful. And I'm going to say, I'm going to be honest. I see a therapist. I talk to somebody probably, like I said, 3 to 4 times a week. Not 3 to 4 times a week. Every 3 to 4 weeks, I do check in with someone, and it's great because it's a strength, because it builds my arsenal for my mental health. It builds my arsenal on my coping skills and how I manage fear. It builds my arsenal in communication and how I navigate conversations in both the corporate world and non-corporate world. So therapy and counseling is a win for you, and it's definitely something that you should have in your arsenal. Journaling is something else that I do, but I don't do it as often as I probably should and could. It helps you identify your triggers, and it lets you identify your patterns of the fear and how it navigates and how it shows up and how your body reacts to it. And it also lends to you a way to prepare yourself and for those coping in those fearful situations. So the other thing that I do, and I think we talked about this again in a few episodes back, is practicing mindfulness and being mindful of the situations that you're in and identifying the triggers and recognizing them, and just being mindful that they're there, and they're there for a reason, and that they were once there to protect you, but you no longer need that sort of protection. So identifying those triggers and figuring out how you're going to cope, or how to cope through those triggers, because those triggers, depending on what they are, sometimes you can't get around it. Some of our triggers are everyday life things. So how do you navigate that, and how do you mindfully acknowledge it? And meditation, mindfulness and meditation, I use hand in hand. Okay, they go together. Meditation is very helpful to calm the nervous system down and to center you. So acknowledging it, and then meditation through it. I practice gratitude. I tell you that all the time. Is great, and that's part of my meditation ritual. Practicing gratitude, being mindful, being present in situations. Any other thing I want to share too, maintaining your community, maintaining your sense of community, your friends, excuse me, whomever they may be, your friends, your family, I think that's very important. Even though I am one of those people that like to do a lot of things alone, I do appreciate my friends. I do appreciate my family, and I will engage with them and communicate with them very often. But you choose your conversations and things wisely. You don't say everything to everyone. Definitely not. But definitely you want to have a close community that you can depend on, that you feel safe around, that can help you navigate this, and it can be part of your arsenal, and maintaining your sense of self. When you look at self-care and self-care revolution, definitely revolution. Where did I get that word from? Self-care and revolutionizing your self-care has been a big thing. So you see a lot of things. I'm trying to think. Rest, nourishment, eating, big things, which is very hard for me because I don't sleep well and I definitely don't eat well. My calorie count is very low. So being mindful of eating and watching what I eat and how I eat, eating for nourishment, not always for pleasure, is a good thing, because sometimes when we pleasure eat, we overeat, and we eat the wrong things. So eating for your body's nourishment is very important and key to maintaining your sense of self, your mental health, and your all these things. And I'm a baker. I bake breads, cakes, you name it. So believe me, it's not easy, and I know it's not easy. But again, it's all about being mindfulness and doing things in moderation and things like that. So definitely getting enough sleep, eating the proper foods, taking your vitamins. I know I'm very bad at that. I've gotten better, but I've been bad at that. And then, and maintaining your boundaries, which when we talked about mental health and seeking counseling and not being a weakness and not stigmatizing counseling, that's part of that, maintaining your boundaries, because they teach you tools to create your boundaries and help you maintain those boundaries. And sometimes, depending on family and friends don't like the boundaries we set sometimes, and that's okay. It's our boundaries. And I think we talk about this, and sometimes we don't like the boundaries our family members set. It's like, why are you not talking to me? What the hell's the problem? It's not for us. Those are their boundaries. So cheers to them. So cheers to them. I lost my train of thought. I wanted to give you an affirmation, because I think that I was getting ready to go on a tangent with that last piece with mental health and physical health and maintaining those and being mindful and eating and drinking, especially hydration, drinking water, especially if you're in a dry climate is really key. But I want to say, here's it. My mind and body deserve care. That's it. My mind and body deserve care. I protect my health as an act of love, of self-love. That's the affirmation I want to share. I'm going to say it again. My mind and body deserve care. I protect my health as an act of self-love. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Yay. A couple other things I want to leave you guys with before I close out this episode is breathing exercises. Four-corner breathing is very important. I use it as a reset for a lot of things. So sometimes if I need to take a pause to think, especially if I'm doing a speaking engagement, I'm lecturing, and I need to think about what it is I'm saying and saying it correctly, I will stop and take a deep breath. Not a four corners breathing sometimes. Maybe it's just a deep breath where I'm just like in through my nose, smelling the roses, and then I blow out the candles. And that gives me enough time sometimes to think about what it is that I'm going to say and I need to say. Or I'll do a 4 corners breathing where I inhale, deep inhale for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, release it for a count of 4, and wait a count of 4 before I do the next one. So that's some things you can do. Visualization is key, is another one too. Visualizing where you are, it almost goes in hand with guided imagery. Affirmations and mantras. I gave you a couple of affirmations today and a couple of mantras today. So that is very important. I share a lot of affirmations and mantras with friends and family. Every morning I read them and navigate my day. So those are very helpful. Daily rituals, like reading the Bible for some people is very important. Walking for me is really important. So I'll get up every morning just about and walk. Most likely it's not every morning. It's probably like 3 days a week. But I will get up and I will take a walk, maybe 1 or 2 miles. Meditation, prayer is also some other things you can do. Spiritual care, we talked about spiritual warfare the other day. It's a real thing. So knowing what your spiritual beliefs are and utilizing that and practice using that as your practice with your rituals as well is very helpful. So yeah. So those are some things I want to leave you with. And my very last, is this one an affirmation or a mantra? This one's an affirmation. Okay, yes, my very last affirmation. I release the fear that holds me back. I release the fear that holds me back. I step boldly into my purpose. I release the fear that holds me back and I step boldly into my purpose. That right there is my last mantra that I will leave with you. Or excuse me, my last affirmation that I will leave with you. With that, here you are. I'm going to end it with this. To be fearless today doesn't always mean you're ignoring your fear, right? It really doesn't. To be fearless today, it means honoring it, listening to it, respecting it, and then, choosing how you're navigating through it with your pauses, all right? You're moving forward with courage. That's what it means to be fearless today. You're having clarity and you're practicing self-care. Okay, so remember, fear is human. Okay, fear is human, and courage is a choice. Fear is human, and courage is a choice. And self-care that's my non-negotiable. Self-care is my non-negotiable, people. I'm going to do my self-care, and I share that with you. So maybe you can adapt that into your life or into some sort of practice that you decide to do. That's totally up to you, but I am honoring my fear. I nurture my health. And guess what? I walk boldly in my truth. There's another mantra for you as we leave. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all for taking the time to be here with me at the Soulful Eclectic. And if you have anything you want to discuss, a topic you want us to discuss on the podcast, or if you want to be a guest, please feel free to send me an email. I'm on YouTube too, so you can send me a message on YouTube. That's fine. Facebook, Instagram as well. You know where to find me, the.soulful eclectic on Instagram. I'm on Facebook on DC The Soulful Eclectic. My email address is dc@thesoulfuleclectic.com, and you can find me on my website, thesoulfuleclectic.com. So there are many places you can find me. And again, if you just type in The Soulful Eclectic in your web browser, I'm one of the ones that will pop up. So definitely reach out if you want to be a guest. Reach out and share what your thoughts are. Follow us. If you have not started following us already, please follow, subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, ring that bell. Come on. I know that's a new thing.